Greetings and welcome to this installment of Mike's Vehicle Vlogs. Thank you so much for joining today. So today we're going to talk about another Escape. That's pretty much all this channel consists of, are Escapes and Aztecs. But a while ago I made a video about what my next Escape would be like if I bought one brand new. And I went throughout the entire lot at the time and found what I considered to be the perfect Escape. I think it was still a 2017 at the time, and it was lightning blue metallic with the the charcoal and gray interior. It had the like the optional appearance package with the blacked out wheels and the grille and stuff. Oh, it was sharp. It was really sharp. But that was me talking about, what my next Escape would be like if indeed it were new. Now there's a chance, I can't really say there's a chance, but I would think that I'm probably not going to get a new one if I end up getting an Escape. I've never bought a brand new car. I've never leased a brand new car. I mean, that could all change, of course, in the future. But as of right now, with all the cars that I've had, I usually just end up buying them used. They're usually only, 3-4 years old at the time. So if I were to find an Escape that was, used and had decent mileage and seemed to be, well equipped, I probably would want to get it. But what if it really wasn't my ideal trim level? I specified in that previous video that, I wanted it to be an SE model because the SE is equivalent to what my XLT is, my Escape XLT now. My XLT has a lot of nice features, and the SE Escapes usually come with a lot of nice standard features also. So yeah, what if I decided not to get an SE? What if I got something along the lines of just the S? Because the S model seems to have the stuff that my XLT has. I mean, from 2011, when they brought out the current generation Escape, which debuted for the 2013 model year, things had changed within that time period. So let me introduce to you a 2014 Ford Escape S, the base model. So this came in on a trade not too long ago, and I like it. When I first looked at it, and I ended up taking pictures of it, of course, for my job, but when I looked at it and really got to see what it had to offer, I really started to wonder, could I, live with purchasing an Escape S? Just a basic Escape. Now, granted, there are a few things about the S that I'm not 100% crazy about, but at the same time, surprisingly enough, this S seems to have quite a few things with it. Quite a few things that I would be perfectly content with having. Now, of course, it being a base model, I would be sacrificing quite a few things if I were to actually give up my Escape, which I don't plan on doing it, so please don't think I'm getting rid of it. I'm going to be keeping my Escape for a while. But getting back on topic, there's things here that I would be giving up. For example, the S doesn't have fog lights, whereas my 2011 Escape XLT does. On these Escapes, on the S model, the turn signal indicators are in place of where the optional fog lights would be on higher trims for this model. Another thing I would be giving up are aluminum alloy wheels, because as you can see, the S has steel wheels with wheel covers. Now granted, this isn't a big thing for me. I mean, in all honesty, the steel wheels are a lot more durable than aluminum wheels anyway. But for me, it's about the look. I like to be able to see, sorry, there's a bee flying. I like to be able to see, the brake rotor and the caliper and stuff. You obviously can't really do that with the steel wheel unless you really, really look into these little tiny holes. I like the lower black cladding. Overall, I do love this color. Just saying. Just saying. That's why, one of the reasons why this one struck out at me is because of this particular color. There's also the fact that the S models do not have tinted windows. So these two windows here, the back window and the other two windows, of course, are not tinted. They're just regular windows. And for me, that's not a big deal, but in a way, I just do like the way tinted windows look. Like, I think my Escape would look funny if it did not have tinted windows. But there again, not a big deal. Not a deal breaker in my opinion. Now, as far as the mirrors and the door handles, my Escape has black plastic mirrors and it has black plastic door handles, so there really wouldn't be any difference there. Now on the inside, of course, the interior is completely different. In this particular model, it does have the dark, dark gray interior, the black and the gray, and I love it. So another reason why I would pick this one if I were to trade my Escape in is because of the outside being gray and the inside being black and gray. I love the color scheme. Now, as far as the similarities, as far as, powered stuff, the Escape S has powered windows, has powered mirrors, has powered door locks, even has the exact same type of key that, my Escape currently has. Oh, and the mirrors have the blind spot mirrors in the corners, so that's all the same. Now, once we get inside and turn on the air conditioning, because it is 80-something degrees today, I'll turn it down though. This Escape, by the way, only has 20,655 miles for 14. That's really, really good. So what are the other things that I would be giving up with my XLT if I were to get the basic Escape S of this generation? I would lose my automatic headlights. Not necessarily a deal breaker, but the convenience of having automatic lights for so long, actually, especially since all of my cars except for my very first car had automatic headlights, it is a pretty nice feature to have, and you kind of get used to it after a while. There's no leather wrapped steering wheel, so not really a deal breaker, but I do like the feel of leather. However, this one's not bad. It's got the grips on the back, and my steering wheel doesn't have those little finger grips, so I guess I could deal with it. Not a big deal at all. One thing I would gain is this driver information display, which my Escape, has, but it's nowhere like this. This is a nice display and gives you all kinds of vital information about the vehicle, as well as settings and whatnot. So having that sort of display would be nice. It even tells you when your headlights are on. Oh, and your brights. Along with the radio also has the, the color display. $250. Still set up high, like my current Escape is. It's a little pushed farther back, but I like where it's at. I think it's kind of neat. That way, when you're driving, you don't really have to take your eyes too far to see what's going on, and it has this nice little storage pouch there too, so that's nice. And as you can see above the stereo, it does have sync. So at this point, the sync system was a standard feature on the S models, and this one is equipped with sync. So I would still have my sync, whereas on the Escape that I have now, if you got a base Escape in 2011, sync was not standard. You would not have sync. So a lot, again, has changed with what they've added. So I would still have my sync, which is a plus. No touchscreen. We have our buttons, and as I've mentioned before, I like having buttons. It kind of gives your interior more character rather than just having a screen sit there. And there's not anything necessarily wrong, in my opinion, with having a touchscreen, but I just like having buttons to, control everything. Just saying. Down below, we do have our manual climate controls, so nothing is different there. Nothing's different there at all. Rear defrost, of course. The shifter, as you can see, has sport mode as well as manumatic shifting. So that right there would be a plus. Oh, and you can start in second. That's cool. So that's one thing that my Escape doesn't have. Mine just has low. So a plus with having a base Escape of this generation seems like you would get the select shift feature, which is also a plus. Oh, and speaking of the shifter, when it's in reverse, you get a backup camera. At this point in time, the backup camera was equipped on the base Escapes. My XLT doesn't even have a backup camera. So that's a definite plus. I mean, not saying I need it, but it's nice to have. So that would be a bonus, in my opinion, on getting this particular base Escape. Parking brake, of course, still have a power outlet, 2 cup holders. In here, I lose a lot of storage compared to what I'd have now, so that's a thing that I have to sacrifice. And of course, you still have your USB and your auxiliary jack and whatnot. The only downside to this is I don't care to have the USB in this particular compartment, only because a lot of my music is on a flash drive and it sticks up. And I'd be afraid of breaking off the flash drive unless I bought like one of those little tiny thumb drives or whatever. So the plus side is I'd still be able to listen to my digital music. The downside is I'd be worried all the time of putting things in there because I'd break the USB stick. Now, another plus is they still have CD players. A nice plus to this one is the glove box is a lot larger than what's in mine. The downside, no owner's manual. Boo. In this particular one, I still have a place to put my sun. Whoa, look at that. Somebody left their shades in here. I'd still have a place to put my sunglasses. But I would lose my sunroof. My XLT had the optional sunroof, and this base Escape does not have any sunroof. But I have more lights, and they're LED, so they're brighter than what they used to have. In the back, I don't know, I'm not really in the back of my Escape all that much. I don't think there's really anything I'd be losing. There's a power outlet, mine has a power outlet, map pocket. I think I have map pockets on both seats, so what, we lose one map pocket? Doesn't really matter. There is a nice little cubby space there. Seats are foldable. Oh, you gotta take the headrests off. You gotta do that in mine too, my Escape. But the nice thing about this seat is you don't have to pull the seat bottoms up to fold them. There's that little lever there, and they just collapse right over. So, I don't know, I guess that's a little more convenient. Way back, there's still some storage pockets. This one doesn't have the cargo cover, so I wouldn't have my cargo cover. The spare tire is under the floor. Where's mine at? Mine's under the car. And there's still storage pockets, so my Escape has that wet trunk where you can store things in under the floor, but the spare tire is under the car. So I guess in this case I get both storage pockets and the spare tire inside the car. I would much rather have the spare tire in the car, actually. Now the big thing about this particular Escape, the S model I'm talking about just in general, is that it doesn't have the turbo engine. It's got the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, which is the exact same engine that my current Escape has. See, it looks the same, it sounds the same, it's the same engine. Now don't get me wrong, I do like driving the EcoBoost Escapes. I think they perform really well, but I am quite pleased with my 2.5 liter that is in my Escape now. So if I had to jump into another Escape with the exact same engine, then I would not complain. The only other downside to having this Escape over mine is less workspace. Everything is condensed under here. You can see the battery box is right underneath that windshield wiper towel. So you'd have to take off that entire cowl, I think, to really get to work on everything back there. So regardless of what Escape I get in the future of this generation, working on it is probably not going to be nearly half as easy as getting to the stuff under the hood of my Escape. But, like I mentioned, the S has the 2.5, and I would be very happy with that. Now, throughout my years on YouTube, I have done many videos on these Escapes. I've done many test drive videos. So I've driven enough of these Escapes to know, how they handle and such. And I overall really do love driving these Escapes. They handle really well, in my opinion. I think they're comfortable, and they do seem to be a little more, I don't know, like my Escape feels like an SUV, and this one doesn't really handle like that. It's an entirely different platform, so it has more of a car-like feel, in my opinion, compared to what my Escape feels like. My Escape feels like an actual SUV, but this one has a more car-like feel and ride to it, in my opinion. You might be thinking this Escape might be smaller, but it's really weird according to the stats that I've read, throughout the years that I've done the research on these cars, and this is actually like just a tad bigger than my current Escape. As far as like cargo room, it has like 1 foot or 2 cubic feet more compared to what my Escape can handle or carry. I guess the only, downside is, you kind of lose maybe a little bit of space because of the angle of the roof and stuff. It's definitely more of a streamlined look compared to the square, boxy look that my Escape has. And that square boxy look does benefit when you're trying to carry things, depending on what you're carrying, of course. But if you're trying to carry something big and bulky, and you might need, that perfect level or stuff like that, and the edge of the roof line here meets lower than up here, you might not even be able to get your thing in the car. I don't know. So I guess that would be a downside, is depending on what you want to carry and stuff. But honestly, I don't really carry anything at all. I really don't. Everything that I have carried or would carry, I don't think would be a problem in this particular car. Now, of course, there's the idea of getting rid of my Escape, my perfect 2011 Escape that I've had, well over 2.5 years now. That car has been very, very, very good to me. So, I really, as much as I would love to have one of these newer current Escapes, as much as I would like driving this one, and this one's well equipped for it being a base model, plus the price is cheaper too because it's a base model, all that stuff. I mean, this would be perfect, but I find it very hard to want to separate with my Escape now. I've got a really good one, and I do plan on keeping my Escape for a long time. So please don't think I'm just gonna up and leave my Escape. I mean, when the opportunity is there and everything just so happens to maybe work out in my favor, then maybe I will trade up for something newer. But as of right now, I'm definitely not getting rid of my Escape. It's been too good of a car, and I do love it very much. So please don't think I'm getting rid of it. There's still going to be a lot of time with that car and me in the future. So let's go park it now. I know, everybody always says that the parking lot videos, the driving videos, are a waste of time and da-da-da-da-da. Well, enjoy it, because I can't take it out on the road today. I will say this, though. The little 4-cylinder in this particular style of, why is there a Maserati here? They're blocking my space. Well, Let's see if I can go back. So this particular Escape, you know, the 2.5, it does pick up a lot more in this model than it does my blocky, heavier, I'm sure heavier, 2011 Escape. I think I'm just going to park it here next to this van. We'll just put it right here. All right. So if I were to buy this particular Escape S, I think I would be pleased with it in the long run. But like I said, we are not doing anything with it at this time. I just thought I'd show you guys, or tell you guys, I guess, if I'd be happy with a base Escape of this generation. And I think the answer is yes. I think I'd be okay with it. But I will be watching this one until it leaves. Let's go home now. Hello, old, well, dirty, rusty, square Escape. I still love this old girl. She ain't going anywhere for a while. Leave your comments down below. And while you're at it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to click on that little bell icon also, just to make sure that you guys are getting the notifications of these videos when they are being posted. That being said, you can also check out teespring.com/stores/Mike's Vehicle Spotlight for all of the MVS and vlog apparel. That's really all that I've got for today, guys. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.